We're back. I'm Nigel Walsh, and this is
Matt Connolly, and we're on
Unfiltered. That was almost a proper tag team effort then. How are you, buddy?
That's good. I am well, thank you. I have had a very lovely week. I missed you. We were meant to record last week, but we didn't, did we, Nigel?
We failed, although you could say we failed or we didn't fail because I was actually on vacation. So you could just say we took a holiday.
How was it?
Relaxing, like genuinely. You know that when you go on holiday, or at least for me, it takes you like 3 days to unwind and 3 days to spin back up. I was out in a day. I was just like sort of gone, tired, ready for relaxing. Yeah, it was good. It was really nice. It was super, super warm. We spent most of the holiday going, oh, it's too hot. Proper British complaining about the weather. It was good.
Did you put a handkerchief over your bald spot? Or did you maybe wear a hat?
Hang on. Now, hang on. This is a completely side conversation. We probably shouldn't be having the conversation on the pod. But I've been using a shampoo recommended by a friend. Other than the kids going, Dad, you need to go to Turkey for a hair transplant.
Sure.
I don't mind being bald, but I'm going to send you a photograph afterwards of me 6 months ago and me now. And you're going to go, oh my God, there's no bald spot. It might be thin on top, but there's no bald spot.
Well, I look forward to seeing that photo, Nigel Walsh.
So no handkerchief required, Mr. Connolly.
Good, mate. Good.
We're not all young and virile and
I know,
blessed with a lovely head of hair.
Blessed.
I bet that goes all the way down your chest.
All the way and beyond, down to my toes. It's pretty much werewolf from neck down.
Oh, no.
One thing
What's
you
this podcast
talked about,
called? Hairy Toes.
One thing you talked about before going on holiday, you were asking, I think this was on the last pod, about either it's kind of almost like self-improvement or development. It was like beyond reading and relaxing. It was kind of things to do on holiday. Did you do anything that beyond? I mean, and relaxing is enough, right? And just switching off. It's a valuable.
And no, I'm a terrible reader. I buy more books than I can read. So I was actually reading one of our probably favorites we've talked about lots, Outlive, the Peter Attia book again. And I got so much more further through. I was really happy. And I enjoyed that a lot. But my goal was to go away and do one of the Ali K. Miller courses or some of the AI things that pop up with Claude cheat codes to try this, just to see if they work or don't work. And then I do this above and beyond all the other stuff I do. And the reality is, no, I didn't, because I didn't want to spend all my time on a screen. But I did listen to a few podcasts. I did go for a walk every morning. I did the exercise, whatever else. I just can't sit still. So that was all really cool. I still wrote my newsletter because there was loads going on in my mind. There was loads going, things that are happening. So actually I felt like it was positive, but didn't get done what I wanted to do, which is kind of my life. If I look around my desk, I've got lists of of things I haven't done yet.
Handwritten. It's like going back in time having a chat with you. This is great. Nigel Walsh, amazing. Different generations, me and you, buddy. Different generations.
I've got a pen still. Sometimes you have to write things down to get them. So it's good.
Yeah, I've got a pen. Weirdly, I don't have any paper near me. Nigel, tell me. So you said you write your newsletter. You wrote your newsletter.
I did.
What has been going on in the wonderful world of insurance innovation? Mine just published too, so let's talk.
Let's talk. The thing for me last week as I was going away was the big Leo situational awareness private equity or hedge fund, that blew up based on immense leverage on AI stocks. And I was sitting there going, the thing I was contemplating was, is this the beginning of a bubble or is it just a blip? And actually, that was the title of last week's newsletter. My synopsis or my take was, it's just a blip. And this was someone that's super smart. He was 24, about to get married out in Carmel, by pure coincidence, to Dario Amodi's chief of staff. Like, it's all a very small world. Anyway, my take was, it was a blip and it's still moving forward at pace. And we are still in the 1% category. Like, David Breers from 11FS's banking's 1% complete. I would think AI is just 1% complete right now. Genuinely.
Yeah, interesting. We had a project. We were looking at, for one of our clients, personal lines what is the play in 10 years' time? That was the brief for a talk they've got to give.
What country?
In the European market.
Okay.
But interesting, right? And then there's, because you can go into, and so you're talking about the 1%, and this is the reason for connecting the dots, but it's you can go into like sci-fi futures. And I remember doing this like 10 years ago, and look where we are, right? It's barely changed, but it's definitely seems to, the snowball effect is we're picking up pace. But I can really see a very different world in 10 years to the one that we exist in now.
Well, it's the same old, isn't it the same old phrase of we overestimate what we'll do in a year and underestimate what we'll do in 10? If you remember when the wildfires were burning throughout Europe, someone posted a meme online and said, this was a chart from 10 years ago on French news going, oh, look, it will be 35 degrees in a horrible environment. And they're going, we're not even 10 years ahead. And it's reality. It's not even a meme sort of thing. So I think some of those scenarios are coming true quite quickly, or coming to fruition quite quickly, which is super interesting. So the Leo thing and open source were big items. The other one was, we've talked about how AI will change work. There was a really good piece from OpenAI that talked about how jobs will change and expand what people do at work. So it's almost a case of you will be 3xing yourself or 10xing yourself, or you'll bleed into other areas because you can now do more as a single individual because you've got AI tools. And we've talked about that before, like as the designer, the engineer, the developer all merge into one. What does the underwriter of the future look like? Or what does a claims handler of the future look like if you can bring all those things together? So I thought that was quite interesting.
Yeah, I do too. So I was thinking about that also myself, around, we've talked about it just around pure productivity gains, right? So how much we can get done. So, you automate something which is a big part of your world. You can focus on other things and you get more done as an individual. Real random segue to Jeremy Clarkson's The Farm. Do you watch that?
I love The Farm.
So
Diddly squat.
No spoilers, but we're watching Series 5, and he's just got himself an autonomous tractor. Have you watched this?
I've watched it. I can't. How am I not allowed to give you the spoiler?
Oh yeah, well no, I was trying not to give you some spoilers, but there we go.
I've seen it. I've watched it all.
Okay, great. Yeah, so we just got into it. I don't know how we haven't watched this one yet. I love it. I think it's great, but it's so interesting. So we just got to the episode where he's got his autonomous vehicle. So he's a bunch of AI agents working for him, equivalent in our world. And you've got this thing, he sets it to work, and then it breaks down within about 100 meters, and he has to go fix it. And then it's another 50 meters on and 20 meters on. And then eventually it's back and forth, and he's off. And it's just like, but it's really interesting, right? And I feel like we're in that kind of fixing phase with a lot of this stuff at the moment when you're saying the 1%. And we're just starting to sort this out.
And doesn't he go to the Netherlands or somewhere else and sees like a floating farm in one place, and then he sees another one where
in Rotterdam,
there's a guy on a quad bike and he scans the field to go, more productive over there than non-productive. Like we've talked about personalized medicine, personalized software, personalized farming. We've got the data. Why not use it?
100%. And and then it got me onto boring Caroline, my wife, with agri-tech chat. She was just like, oh God, no, please. I even paused it. She's just like grabbing the remote out of my hand. Anyway. So, okay.
Not that I would bore my wife and kids with Whoop scores or whatever else, but they did get bored to death with Whoop scores while I was on holiday and fully relaxed, I will have to say.
So Whoop scores, I'm assuming you shot into the green, and that's what a relaxed Nigel looks like, right?
I was double my typical scores, and I came straight back with a bang to a red with a 5 a.m. wake up call. I was like, oh my God, welcome home.
Yeah, mate, sleep's important. Look at us.
I know.
Still not wearing it though. Look.
What else? I mean, maybe you've got an old fashioned original abacus style Whoop. I've done a step.
Yeah, that's right.
I've done a step. What's news in your world? What have you seen in the news that's caught your attention?
A lot has been going on in the world of sonar. I feel like I'm using Calendly a lot more than I ever have. I think because we're going through a load of Sonar 2.0 beta testers, and I'm sending a lot of automated emails out. And in return, with those automated emails, I've got Calendly links. And I think I've just had 500 meetings or something in the last few weeks. That's an insane amount.
That's a lot of meetings. Now, hang on. I didn't know
Mm.
this about you. Like Calendly for me is like a red rag to a bull. If
Oh,
you ever
interesting.
send
Let's
me
go.
a Calendly link, like the chances of meeting are probably 0 to 1.
I'm sorry. Can you say that again?
I don't like it. I don't know why. It invokes a reaction to go,
no, but it's
how about
but
I
it's
make
not like
you do the work for me?
no. Okay, so that would be never how I phrase it. I also share that. If someone sends me the expectation on me to sort that out, I really freaking hate it. What I will do is I will say, let me know when you're free. I'll set up an appointment. If it's easier, here's a link that you can access my diary. That's got to be a better, softer landing, right?
Hard no. I just
well,
go
that's why
delete.
you and I haven't had a meeting. That's why, or you've been on holiday. Anyway, so I've been busy having meetings, but it's exciting. But with that actually comes a bunch of conversations with people all over the world, albeit not New Zealand, and you're just getting a fresh take, fresh perspective, what people are looking at, what's working, what's not working, all the rest. Anyway. So things that I wrote today in my News, which has just gone out, are I looked at OpenAI Presence that had teamed up with. And this is not a model. This is not an API. This is a product from OpenAI, which is voice agents, which can be applied to the claims space. So people phone in, and it goes to an OpenAI voice agent. Good, bad. They're working with BBVA in Mexico, first client, with SoftBank in Japan, and now IAG in Australia.
And it's software, not hardware. Is that right? Or what is it?
Yes, software, not hardware, as I understand it. But I think it's, so I didn't do too much digging because I just read about it this afternoon and found it. But I think it's really interesting when you've got the Guidewires of the world bringing out, I can't remember their new little product this week, but again, an agentic claims, something or other. And then you've got OpenAI stepping into that space, right? And you've got a love-hate out there in the market for the likes of Guidewire and others, and that's just the natural course of a market, right? You know, you've got some dominance from certain players, so they wonder whether to go with the dominant player or they go with a bunch of others. And then you've got these frontier models stepping into creating products that are useful for the market. I'm like, interesting. So that I thought was
it goes back
it was
to
something.
We've had lots of conversations with people going, or our questions asking us, where do frontier models fit going forward? And this is about the commoditization of frontier models. And at what point do they become hey, we've got to do something else, or the value that we've got gets overtaken by a Kimi K3 or open weights or whatever else it might be. So it is a really interesting one to go, what can we keep doing? Now we've established credibility. What can we do with it? Or if we just get to this point and then stop, are we dead?
Yeah.
So they have to almost keep moving up to be application layer or functional layer, because the frontier model on its own is interesting but not super helpful, I think.
Yeah, that's really interesting insight, especially around they have to grow. I mean, we've talked about it in the startup world, right? Grow at all costs, but they have to because they're.
And contact center is easy because it's horizontal and applicable to every organization. Like we have contact center capability at ServiceNow, and it's horizontal because we don't care what industry it goes into. We have different capability for healthcare payer or government or retail or insurance because they're nuanced. Like claims management is very unique to insurance and is different for retail claims, commercial claims, life claims, healthcare. You got to work out which ones are broad and have the biggest addressable market, I guess. I think there's a nice way to go. Got frontier, now it's applied to contact centers. It's everyone.
Yeah. And then, also super interesting to see then what Anthropic, Gemini, all the others are going to respond with, right? Well, I say all the others.
Well, I speak from a Google experience. I know Google's already got contact center AI, as does Amazon with Amazon Connect or whatever else. And you got to work out, well, what do we now do if we just plug Gemini into contact center AI or Bedrock into AWS Connect? I'm sure they're already connected. So is this actually OpenAI playing catch up with the existing hyperscalers?
True story.
Which actually,
True story.
which actually gives me a question. I don't know if you noticed, but the hyperscalers did all of their announcements last week on earnings. Google came out with an 82% or 83%, I think it was 82% growth in quarter. 82. And their stock dropped. Microsoft came out with, I think it was flat, and their stock popped. And it wasn't about
expectation management, or
because of investments in CapEx. So Google had negative free cash flow, I think, for the first time, it was like a significant number, multiple billions. And they're sitting there going, at what point do we get our return on our money? Which then led to the whole Leo issue with situational capital and all that sort of stuff. Like, it's just crazy, right?
Hey, that's amazing. I can't believe Google dropped
83%.
Well, I'm sure you don't have any shares in them, so you'll be fine.
I can either comment or deny that.
Indeed. Anyway, so a big week. You talked about the wildfires. So I didn't realize that business interruption doesn't include. I was just thinking about the displacement of all of these people and all of these businesses in France who got displaced and therefore had to close their businesses and shut shop for a few weeks, would not have been covered by business interruption in France. Interesting.
Is that a French thing specifically?
That is a French thing, as far as I'm aware.
I didn't know that.
No. Hopefully I'm right in that. Maybe if anyone is listening who knows this better than I do and can tell me I'm wrong, let us know. But so I found that out also today. But what I was looking at, it wasn't anything to do with wildfires. It was actually to do with data centers and the fact that a decent data center might cost 20 billion. No one wants to insure something that costs 20 billion because that's a pretty heavy, or they might want to insure it, but no one's going to buy it. And then it's not about the damage necessarily to the data centers that needs to be insured, right? It's about them failing for a bunch of other reasons. And so this is in fact reverse out one step further. This is all to do with what I think I was reading the Gallagher quarterly InsurTech report. So Andrew Johnson, Freddie Scarrett, always a great read. And they were just talking about, it's almost kind of like no damage, no pay vibes. And what, it's not always about the damage that's being caused that needs payouts. It's actually, there's a bunch of other stuff that we need to think about when we're protecting stuff. And that was all it was. And so, so the French example, data centers, the rest.
It reminds me of the COVID situation. If you remember the non-denial of access, no physical damage, but you couldn't actually get to your building because there was a government order in place. And that's what caused the issues with Hiscox and loads of SME providers all around the world going, how do we cover for this sort of stuff? There's no physical damage. Whatever else is just like, what the hell is going on? So,
but again, I think but it represents kind of opportunity, right? You flip it out the other way, and they are the spaces where we need to be stepping in. We need to be making sure that people are insured, looked after, covered, etc.
But this is where you then go to so you look at that, you go, COVID, how does that change? Okay, understand what we're doing around exclusions. Cyber, same conversation. We created a massive cyber business as a result of that, and now where are we? AI exclusions. 60 US insurers have already excluded AI from their policies. You listen to the CEO of Allianz in North America, he says not creating a new business. You go listen to Armilla.ai or Testudo or a bunch of others. They're creating net new businesses based on AI model changes or drift, or whatever else it might be, to go, if all those folks are excluding it, where's it getting picked up from an insurance perspective?
100%. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Totally get it. Totally.
Very interesting.
So they are a couple of things on my side. And then on a non-work front, it is at the Bristol Balloon Fiesta this weekend. So I spent this morning watching 55 balloons float by my house.
I watched that on the news. Gorgeous. It looks really cool.
It's absolutely stunning. So where I have my roof deck, which is 2 floors above my office, where I am talking to you now, we have a flat deck, and if the wind's right, and the wind is right at the moment, they just drift by in silence.
Have you ever been up on one?
Yeah, we have. So my boy Freddie, he's well, you know, right? He's just turned 8, and I think it's as an 8-year-old you can go up in them, and he is desperate. So it's such a Bristol thing. It's so gorgeous. You wake up in the morning to to the flame, like the flames, and it's such a nice sound. It's just great. So
I love that. I've never done one. I'm sure I would be absolutely frightened out of my life, but I quite fancy it.
Yeah, I don't like heights at all, but it's just not the same. It's there. So I remember thinking, what a wonderful place to propose, like as in, to get married in like hot air balloon. And then I remember going on my first hot air balloon ride. It's like a basket full of 16 people. It's really massive. And it's like, that's just a terrible place to propose. Of course, you've got a pilot there as well. Going, hang on, this isn't private.
I've got a friend of mine that actually proposed in a hot air balloon over the Serengeti.
Yeah, that's the way to do it, isn't it?
That is the way to do it. Anyway, don't ask me how they're doing now. It's a whole different conversation. That's very cool. I'd love to see.
Yes.
Do you get any good photos, Frodo?
Yeah, I did. I've got lovely photos of the balloons this morning. Yeah, I'll ping you. I'll ping you those. They are super cute. So we've got friends coming over later for dins, and then we've got a whole weekend of it. So that is how I'm going to balance out what has been an incredibly busy week.
That's awesome.
What about you, buddy? What are you up to?
That's awesome. I am about to head back out to New York for EBC, so briefing centers, which I just love. I love being in front of customers all the time and learning what's going on in the industry. So loads of cool stuff going on. We are just going from strength to strength. Like I talk about the pull and the push a lot. The whole security and cyber stuff is just flying. We just released our whole new autonomous blueprint for security with 6 core pillars. It just feels like the moment is right, and it's just it's very good.
Mate, they're very cool. Is that, and so that's a centralized ServiceNow proposition for it in this case, right? With the you say cyber? Is that what you just said?
This is for security. For
security.
We bought Arbus and Veza and a bunch of others recently. So they were just bringing all those things together to go. I talk about pull and push, and the pull for me is people going, we need to govern these things. You've seen the quote from Bob Pick, by the way, that says, AI agents are running a year ahead of governance. So people need to go, how are we going to govern all that? What are we going to do to understand it? How are we going to give visibility? The EU AI Act came into force 5 days ago. So now you haven't got a choice. You've got to be able to prove what's going on at any one point. And with all these rogue agents, I think we spoke about the rogue agents last time with the Hugging Face example. Since then, there's been a number of other announcements about Claude and others accessing systems they shouldn't have done, and then hiding the evidence to say they'd done it.
Totally.
If you're now a regulated industry and I've just accessed Matt's account, changed his premium, and done something else, that's kind of worrying, right?
No, it's terrifying. And also how much of this stuff is going on that isn't reported, right? Or announced, as you said. That is what, frightens me the most. You're hearing it more and more from your kind of regular Joe almost, right? In a regular small enterprise through all the way up to Fortune 500s.
Well, it goes back to trust, because you then got to work out how you instill trust into your employees and your colleagues, but then also your customers going forwards. It's really interesting. I think people will care more and more about that. I don't know about you, as I've been traveling around London this week, you hear people walking past or on the trains, wherever else, going, oh, I don't trust AI for this, or I'm going to try AI for that. And you realize we're in the 1% or top 10 or top 20%, but that long tail of stuff is just getting started. Like, we are always trying new cool things, whether it's presence or whisper flow, about to hit 200,000 words, by the way. Like, it's just really cool stuff, but you've almost got to pause and go, okay, these people are miles behind. And there's a long tail to catch up, which you won't do without trust or whatever else.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. So look at that. Nigel Walsh, good luck on your travels, my friend.
Thank you, sir. I'm looking forward to it. I'll catch you this time next week for more of news.
Unfiltered with Matt and Nige. Not next time, very soon, and I know we've threatened this before, we will be getting guests on this pod. So if you are one of the 3 listeners who tune in to this, there might be a few more, then make sure you get in touch, and then let's see if we can you can bring us to the loop.
I know we joke about it, but the number of people that have said to me, I like your chats with Matt that you have every week, it's good fun, is quite weird.
Yeah, no, me too. It's it's amazing how much attention this gets.
And look,
Who's that Nigel guy, they say?
We're just relaxing, getting it ready for ITC and Insurance Times and all the things that are coming up over the next couple of months. It's going to be a busy...
Insurance Times. Yeah, we just had a moment before the pod realizing that we are both judging the Insurance Times Award, and then we realized we're judging the different ones, which I thought we were back in the room. It's kind of like, it's where the bromance started, albeit with Donna Scully, right?
We need to get Donna on the call. We need to get Donna on the call, without a question.
That absolutely should be the first.
Enjoy your weekend, buddy.
Guest. Yeah, thanks, mate. You take care. Bye-bye.